What's up, guys? It's KingDaddyDMAC, and welcome to this highly demanded modded tutorial where we're going to learn how to automate Applied Energistic Inscribers with Steve's Factory Manager. It's probably one of the most, if not the most, compact way that you can fully automate the inscribers. Pretty cool, and it's been demanded like crazy from my LP series. Please just want to remind you, if you do find this tutorial helpful, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Alright guys, so to get started with this, at bare minimum, you're going to need 9 inscribers, you're going to need 1 machine inventory manager from Steve's Factory, and you're going to need 11 inventory cables. Depending how you want to set it up, you may end up using a little bit more. But in any case, let's get this all laid out. We're going to start off doing the machine inventory manager. We're going to lay out all 9 inscribers. Boom, 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 boom. And get over here. And boom. And then at the very top, we're going to lay out a diamond chest. Doesn't matter that it's a diamond chest. Any inventory can be used. Even on this side, as you can see, I used Applied Energistics little subsystem just to be fancy, just to have fun. But anyway, so after you have those laid out, you're going to want to make sure that you have at least one of these inventory cables touching every inventory. Once they're all touching, it is all part of the system. So pretty cool. So let's go ahead with the first step. All right, guys. So for our first step, we're going to want to go ahead and fill in the top inscribers with the silicon press. Now, just a quick little reminder, you can, of course, if you're short on them, you can put an Inscriber Press, any one you want in there, put a piece of iron, block of iron, and it will duplicate that same press for you. So super helpful if you need it in a bind. In any case, so we've got the top 3 in there. So we've got to set it so that if silicon's in here, it gets put into those top 3. So let's go ahead and set that. Steve's Factory Manager, let's create a trigger. Let's create an input. Let's create an output. Pretty cool. Now for the input, it's very simple. We're going to choose inventory, diamond chest. It's the only inventory we have. So that's set. Target, that's going to be where from the chest you pull out of. Let's pull out from the top. Why not? And then hit activate to make sure that's active. And for here, we're going to do blacklist, and it can pull anything. So we're not specifying what's being pulled yet. That we're going to do in the output. So here, let's go ahead, and we want to choose the top level inscribers that we have. It's going to be different on your system than mine. So 30 Y value of 136 are my top level inscribers. So we're going to choose boom 136, 136, and 136. Those are all my top level ones. Those are the inventories for the output. We're going to go ahead for the target. Now, you can't fill into an inscriber from any direction. If we want to get a silicon into that slot there, it has to go in from one of the sides. So if we went ahead, put a silicon in there, it will go in, boom, get made up, done. But if we put in from the top, it's not going to insert into there. So good thing to know. So for us, that's going to be north, south, east, or west. So let's just go ahead. Let's be uniform. Let's choose north. Let's do active. That's going to be for the output. And then what item do we want? Let's put whitelist. And you can type in silicon. There we go. Boom. Silicon. Done. So that's all done. We got the first step done. Bam. And if we go ahead and look into here, if we connect the trigger, we will see if we have silicon in there, it should fill up all those top 3. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and pull those out. So next step. We want to make an Inscriber Press for boom, boom, and boom for the 3 different types. I'm going to go ahead and steal them from here, but we're going to do a logic press. That's going to do the gold. We're going to do an engineering press, that's going to do the diamond, and we're going to do a calculation press. That's going to do the pure Certus quartz. So let's go ahead, set those up, and those are going to be in the middle slot. So I believe for us, that's going to be a Y height of 135 You know what, guys? We can do a little bit of a shortcut. For this entire thing, I'm going to have just this one input since we didn't specify. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a flow. And we're going to have this flow. This is basically just splitting up the connections. We're going to have 2 outputs. And then we're going to create another flow. And this flow is going to have 5 outputs. So let's go ahead and do this for now. This is just going to be connected for later. So input, this will go to this flow, and then we'll have extra room for later. Okay, so we have the first thing done, going output to the silicon. So we got the silicon done. The next thing after we put in those 3 presses is we have to get gold into this one. We have to get diamond into this one, and we've got to get the pure Certus quartz into this one. And those 3 also have to be done in from the side, just like the silicon. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's create an output. Pretty much everything from this point forward is going to be an output. So let's go ahead and let's go inventory. 87 is that one right there. That's going to be the gold. We're going to go ahead for the target. We're going to do north because it's got to be one of the sides. It could be north, south, east, or west. Doesn't matter, but it's got to be one of them. Activate it. Items. We're going to do whitelist because we want a specific item. And here we can, just as a shortcut, if you noticed I had all the stuff in my inventory required, if I just type in .inv, I'm able to see everything in my inventory. So this makes it super easy. We're going to go ahead and choose gold for that first one. Cool. So if you also want to, just to make it easier, we can type in what all these are. Gold ingot. And then do save. That's completely optional if you just want to be good at organizing. So gold ingot, let's go ahead. Let's create another output. This one is going to be diamond. Let's go ahead and do the inventory. So this one, this middle one, is a Z of 3686. 3686, there we go, for the 135. Pretty cool. So we've got that target. Once again, got to set the target for every single one. This one, again, whitelist, and this time, let's do our diamonds. We can see I got a diamond in my inventory, so that works out. Very cool. Diamond, and finally, create output. Let's label it. All right, so that's going to be the quartz. Inventory, this one is 3685. That's the one we want. So again, a little tedious there, but nothing we can't handle. Again, north, activate, items. This time we are going to whitelist the pure Certus quartz. So that one right there. Very cool. So we've got the 3 different inputs. We've got the silicon. We've got now, if we connect these to the gold ingots to insert it in, we've got it to the diamond, connecting it over to insert it in, and we've got the pure Certus quartz to insert it in. So why don't we take a look at this, just make sure that everything's working out. Let's connect. Every time you connect the trigger, that's when it's going to actually work. Let's go ahead and let's throw all these items into here. So if we throw that in, that in, that in, that in. So you can see it does insert to the right place on each one. Super cool. Now, of course, none of these are working because we haven't put power into it yet. You can go ahead and connect the power to your AE system immediately, or in my case, I like to wait because I don't want to use up the items yet. All right, guys, so for this bottom level, we're going to want to go ahead and make another output. We're going to set for the inventories. The 134 is the Y value for those. We're going to go ahead and we're going to choose all the 134 value ones. So just like that. And that's because all these are going to be again from the north. It's the last one that we do in from one of the sides, the north, south, east, or west. We're going to go ahead, set whitelist, and put redstone. We can go ahead and do it just like that. Awesome. So that's set. This one's done. Those are all the ones that go in on the side, and we can connect it to our flow. So we have the silicon, which is this one, which I didn't name. We'll go ahead and name it. Okay, so all those are done. Now, remember we have this other flow over here. We're going to make yet another flow control. We're going to set this one to the connection, split 5 outputs again. And we are going to connect this flow. Actually, let's take off the trigger while we're not doing stuff. Let's take this flow and connect it to that. So this is going to give us 5 more slots. We're not going to even use them all. So the next thing, we've got to get into the top of each of them a silicon press, and then the bottom one of these 3. Just like that. And it can be either way. It can be top or bottom. Doesn't matter. You just want to try and keep it uniform. So let's go ahead. We have the same input all pulling out of that diamond chest. We're going to do an output. And for this output, we are going to say once again, all those inventories that are the 134, 134, 134. Now this time, why don't we do them all in the top? And the item we're going to whitelist, and this is going to be, again, the silicon, except this time we're not going to do that silicon, we're doing the printed silicon. Cool. So that should be set. So why don't we test this out thus far? If we were to throw in printed silicon into there, and if we were to throw in redstone into there, what's going to happen? Let's connect the trigger to the input, and you can see it put the printed silicon on top. It put the redstone in that right position because we're doing it from the side. Now let's just get these last 3 presses working. All right, so to do that, we're going to make 3 more outputs. So output, this is going to be for the inventory 134, this one 187, because we're opposite. That's the gold ones over there. So we're going to have that as the output. Target, this time we're going to be inserting from the bottom because we did the top for the other. And we are going to whitelist the gold printed logic chip. Very cool. Let's put that down there for later. Let's go create output. And this one's going to be that middle 134 one. So that will be this guy right here. The target, once again, down, activate, items, whitelist. And since I have it in my inventory, we can just go like that. It makes it a lot easier when you do it in the inventory, just in case there's a lot of items with that same name. So the diamond one's done. Let's get the final guy, create output, and this is going to be this one, 135. Did we do that right? Did we get them switched here? Okay, we did it right. Inventory, once again down, activate, items, whitelist, and this is going to be the printed quartz one. Sweet. So hopefully if all goes well, we did everything correctly. Let's go ahead, get these all lined up. So bam, bam, bam. And it doesn't matter as long as you keep these uniform. It doesn't matter which order you do them in. I personally always go gold, diamond, quartz. Just a personal preference. Now we have one final thing that we have to get set up, and that we will do. We could probably just add it in right here. You know what? No, we're going to set up another split flow guy. So we had this one input that went to all these. We're going to have another one. So create a flow. We're going to reverse the connections this time so it has two outputs. So we'll put you there. One of the outputs is connecting to this input. All right, guys, and the final input-output that's going to tie this whole thing together, let's go ahead and create them. So output, input. Let's go ahead. The input is going to be all the inscribers. So all 9 of them. You can just click them all. And these we're going to be pulling out of the, since we did north for all the rest, they're going to be pulling out of the south side. Hopefully that should work okay. And we're going to go ahead and do a blacklist and allow everything. So not select anything there. So that's going to be the final thing there. So it's pulling out of all the inscribers. Then down here on the output's going to be that diamond chest. Pretty cool. So then we can just do target. Doesn't matter where. We can just put down. Doesn't matter which side. And then here, once again, blacklist. Allow everything. So let's connect those two together. Let's connect these over to the flow. And let's do this over to the trigger. So everything should be working now. Oh man, that's really weird how it does that. I haven't seen that before. This is my first time doing it with a single chest. I mean, it's basically okay, but I don't like the way that looks. So let's go ahead. We can probably fix that fairly easily. Let's disconnect this guy here. And let's look up. It's not doing that now. Let's go ahead. Let's make a separate trigger for that guy. I always like to share as many triggers as I can using the flows, just because you can disconnect everything all at once. But if we do a separate trigger, we should be able to just connect that. And bam. You can see it's not doing that anymore. So now, let's just get all the rest of this stuff in there. If you choose to, if you so want, you can go ahead, throw acceleration cards in all of them. It's not required. I really don't find necessary, but if you're impatient and you want all this stuff to be done up in a hurry, putting acceleration cards will make it go much faster. So let's get this connected in, wham, wham. And that's just for us to get the power to the inscribers. I'm going to assume that you guys know how to do that. But bam, the whole thing is working. And we should be able to see all of our finished product right in there. So the final things to tie it together. You can go ahead, you can do an ME interface. You can connect it right onto the top of that chest. And as long as you put in all the ingredients in your pattern, you can go ahead and just say that's what outputs on the other side. Like so. Okay, and connect in this top wire. Right like this, we can have the materials requested to go into the system. You do want to make sure that you have at least one piece of redstone and one silicon in all the bottom ones before starting off, which we have, so we're okay. Throw it in just like this into the little pattern thing. If we go, we can look into our system and should see it show up. Let's request, let's say 20. All right. 8 and 12, sometimes they aren't all stacked up, but look at that. We got all 20, super cool. So the final thing then to pull back into your AE system back out of here that you can do, if you want to stay within AE, let's go ahead, do bus. Let's say an import bus. Go ahead and put the import bus right there, and we're going to want to get a card, capacity card, and you may also want some more speed ones too. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's put the capacity card in, and we can set for the gold, for the diamond, and the quartz one. So if we had all these finished chipsets that are system made, Let's throw all the other stuff in there too. Because, of course, the other stuff's not going to get pulled out. Uh-oh. Did we yank that out of there? Nope, I just must have made 2 of them. Okay, and then we can just connect this back into our system, this wire right here. So right like so. Perfect, and it should pull out all the processors. Nice. Perfect. So that's a completed system. Then you can go ahead, get some facades. We're using mostly these quartz guys here. We can just cover up all these spots here that might connect in. Because we're connecting in there, we can actually knock this guy out. Isn't even necessary. Wham. And wham. Wham. Very nice. Completed system. I love it. Fully automated into our AE system. And if you want to go even crazier, you can do things like this, where I have a sub network going in. And instead of wherever I put the diamond chest, instead, depending on how many interfaces you have, you can go ahead and just specify the ME interface, and it'll work the same. To make sure that the system has it in there, I went ahead and I put the configs for all the different items, and that way it's all stored in here as if that's the diamond chest, but gives you a little bit more storage. So that I'm not going to go through. Hopefully this was enough for you guys to understand. I hope you're happy. And once again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if it was helpful, to let more people be able to know what's out there. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to check out the LP series that I have going on right now. It is from FTB Infinity. And yeah, till next time. Peace out.